what's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Another standard list. This one we're in Abzan colors again. Definitely a preferred color combination for me the last couple months now. This one is built around Eerie Ultimatum. Something I was kind of trying to work on a little bit here and there before Core 21 hit. And so when that released, I just kind of scratch everything and just kind of build everything over from scratch. Obviously, Core 21, we got some pretty spicy new cards that I think really work well with an Ultimatum style deck. And kind of the fun thing about this card is it's encourages lots of kind of a 1 and 2 of, so kind of a variety of gameplay. But you know, you're in Abzan colors where you have so many good options anyway that, you know, even though you're down to 1 and 2 ofs, you still have so many good options regardless. So definitely some different ways you can go with this. And so after some playtesting, this is kind of the list I've decided on. The sideboard is maybe definitely some flexibility, but I feel pretty good about where the main deck is at. So I'll just kind of go over some things here. So 3 Paradise Druids and 3 Glowspore Shamans to start us off with. They both kind of act as ramp in a way. Paradise Druid, of course, taps for mana. It's got the hexproof, so you don't have to worry about it dying. And you know, taps for mana of any color, which is fantastic in a 3-color deck. And the Glowspore Shaman mills 3 cards, so it kind of fills up your yard a little bit for that Eerie Ultimatum value later on. And you get a land card from your graveyard back on top of your library, which is also fantastic, especially since we're running the 3 colors. So we can get our fixing, get our 3rd, 4th land, whatever that we need. And just having a 3 powered body on turn 2 can be pretty nice as well. So since we are in the Ultimatum deck, we don't want to run like too many 4 ofs, so we're just mostly we're on the 1 and 2 ofs, but we do need to get things started, and I think the Druid and the Shaman are pretty powerful ways to start that. So we're going to run just 3 copies here. We do need some removal, of course, so Banishing Light, just kind of a nice utility removal spell. The Exile can be pretty clutch, getting around indestructible and things like that. Oath of Kaya, of course, is a permanent, so it's a permanent removal in a lot of situations. 3 damage to any target, you gain 3 life, which is going to help us fantastically in the aggressive matchups. And we have several Planeswalkers, of course, so that 2 damage and 2 life gain could certainly be relevant as well in those situations. And Knight of Autumn here was our artifact and enchantment removal, also some life gain for the aggro matchups. And just the flexibility of it being 1 green and white to cast it. Just the flexibility on this card is fantastic. Also got a Mangara, the Diplomat, is a new card from Core 21. I haven't actually resolved this yet, but I was kind of looking for more kind of card advantage and even a little bit of life gain for the aggressive matchups. And Mangara kind of does both those. You know, it's a 2/4 lifelink, and whenever 2 or more creatures attack you or a Planeswalker, you get to draw a card. Or whenever your opponent casts their 2nd spell, each turn draw a card. So some nice card advantage here on this, which is something I was trying to squeeze just a little bit more of in the deck. And so I think Mangara is a kind of a nice spicy little inclusion just as a 1 of. Of course, we do need some removal since we're definitely firmly in the late game territory here. So 3 Shatter the Sky is going to help us get to that stage where we can resolve our powerful late game creatures, Planeswalkers, and Ultimatums. So just 3 here in the main. You know, obviously it depends on what kind of your matchup you're up against. And we have a 4th one in the sideboard against those creature-heavy matchups. Another new, of course, that card is, of course, Liliana, Waker of the Dead. She seems to fit in perfectly with this kind of a strategy because we can discard a card with our +1, also forcing your opponent to discard, potentially lose 3 life as well, kind of chip away at their life total. And then, you know, whatever we discard, we can just get it back with the Ultimatum later on. So that's pretty sweet. And, you know, we've, so we're kind of letting our opponent just kind of kill our things because, you know, it's Magic. Your opponent's going to have some interaction, some way to deal with your Planeswalkers, your creatures, and things like that. You know, maybe you have to Shatter the Sky and lose your Druid and your Shaman. That's fine. You just fill up your yard, and you just get those back later on with the Ultimatum. So Liliana just kind of fits in that strategy nicely. The -3 can definitely be relevant as well for some removal. And if you get to the -7, which is not... which is certainly possible. That can be pretty fantastic as well. We have some pretty powerful late game creatures we can get back of our own, and anything maybe we made our opponent discard or blew up with the Shatter the Sky, we can deal with that, get that back as well with her -7 ability. And Vraska is just an all-star. I love this card. It's going to suck to see this rotate here in a few months. You know, fits in perfectly what we're trying to do here. Card advantage. You know, anything we sacrifice, we can you know, sacrifice our Druid once it's done its job. Draw another card and potentially get that back later if we want for some reason. Just another creature on the board potentially. And of course, being able to do under -3 to destroy any non-land permanent on our opponent's side. And the -9 is just kind of a game ending in a lot of situations. Elspeth Conquers Death is fantastic, of course, as well, just on its own. And then considering you can eventually get it back with an Eerie Ultimatum is pretty amazing as well. Elder Gargaroth is another new Core 21 card. Just a one of, since we are more kind of Planeswalker and spell heavy. Just a one of Elder Gargaroth here. 6/6, reach, vigilance, reach, trample. Just too many abilities, but these are all fantastic. What we're trying to do, it does give us the life gain, makes more creatures if we want to go for the creature kill once we've controlled the board, or just card advantage as well if we're kind of in a little bit of a board stall situation. And of course, gonna run Nissa. She just fits in perfectly with what we're trying to do here. Just 2 copies here though. We don't have a ton of forests, so we're not gonna get a ton of ramp value off of her, but she's just a good planeswalker, of course. And same thing here with Vivien, Monster's Advocate. Being able to make 3/3 beasts every turn. Same thing, we just control the board, we drop our planeswalkers, we make beast tokens, we turn our lands into 3/3s, and we start attacking in and kind of closing out the game that way. Got a 1 here copy of Tolsimir, just fantastic against the aggressive matchups, making a 3/3 that fights another creature on our opponent's side and gains some life. It's pretty fantastic. And final here on our top end, we got 2 Liliana and 2 Garruk. Just removal and pumping out creatures is pretty fantastic, and then both of their ultimates are pretty back-breaking for your opponent, especially once you've kind of been able to clear out the board. And then just 3 copies here of Eerie Ultimatum. 4 if like is just too many. You don't want this in your opening hand. You don't want to see this with your early draws. You want to see this later in the game because it's 7 mana. It's going to take you a little while to get set up properly and get the mana you need to actually even cast it. But you don't want to see this every game, so I think 3 copies feels like the right amount as well. And especially having 3, with like a Liliana, you don't mind discarding it because you're probably going to draw into a second one at some point anyway. So definitely feel like 3 is the right number. 25 lands, since we do have a little bit of ramp with the Shaman and Paradise Druid package here in the early game, and things like Nissa. So 25 lands feels like it's adequate. So 2 plains, 2 swamp, 3 forests, and then just splitting up the dual lands with the Godless Shrine and temples. All the way down, just 2 ofs, 3 of the Triomes, and then 3 of the Fabled Passage just for the fixing here as well. And so the sideboard here, so there's definitely a little bit of flexibility, but I feel like this kind of gives us a nice suite for the variety of decks we might be going up against. We're already pretty against the aggro matchup with things like Shatter the Sky, so we got a 4th one here. But we also have some Agonizing Remorse to really help out with the control matchups. Same thing here with Spyglass, shutting down Ugin. Since we are a late game deck, we have to worry about the big powerful planeswalkers your opponents might be playing. Some little more exile move with a Banishing Light, and 3 whole copies of Davriel, just again for those mid-range and control matchups, forcing your opponent to discard. And it's a permanent effect, so it's something you can get back with your ultimatum. And for more instant speed interaction, the Mythos of Nethroi is going to be our go-to. And for the graveyard interaction, we got 2 copies here of Leyline of the Void, potentially be cast for free if it's an open hand, which is pretty nice upside. And the Questing Beast can come in, against our opponents running a bunch of Planeswalkers and things like that. We can just bring Questing Beast to help us answer with that. And Casualties of War can also come in against those matchups where if we can hit 3 of these, then I think Casualties of War is worth bringing in those matchups. All right, that's the list, and we'll jump into some matches, see how we do. All right, against Bobo Pelitux. On the draw, which we don't mind at all. We need all the card advantage we can get. 1 land. You gotta love it. I swear, Arena hates 25 land decks. We have the Druid on 2, so I guess that's fine, and we just pitch Garruk since it's the most expensive, or we just pitch Shaman. It really depends on what we're up against. I think we'll just ditch the Garruk for now, and hopefully get some value off these Shamans. They can kind of find us some more lands potentially. Okay, turn 1, Knight. Oh, there's a Godless Shrine. That's pretty cool. Give us some options next turn, but still leave with a tap land here. Banishing Light could be a nice way to shut down this Knight, so we'll keep that. So I think we just go for the... If they activate, it becomes a... so just a mono black sacrifice or aggro. Just aggro looks like vampire, serrated scorpion. Alright, it's a pretty aggressive start from our opponent. We'll just go with the Druid here, and if they want to attack, I think we'll go ahead and take the block. And we'll shock in for the Banishing Light next turn, depending on what's on the table still. They have land, and they swing all. Do we block the Knight? They do not. They can't target. In that case, yeah, we definitely want to deal with that. Banishing Light. What do we Banishing Light here? Elspeth's Nightmare? Otherwise, they just look at our hand and maybe take Liliana. I mean, we're not too worried about the Scorpion or the Vampire just yet, so I think I'd rather preserve the graveyard for the Ultimatum. Not that there's anything too relevant we need to worry about at this stage, but I'd rather just keep our Liliana around. We have a single black and a single green, so there's no way we can do double Shaman next turn. Which might be better just to drop some creatures before we drop our Planeswalker first, but so right now they're representing 5 power. If we play our Liliana, it goes up to 5. If they want to swing all, it always preserves our life total a little bit. And buys us some time to find like a Shadow or something. And they're mono black, so they could be running Frika's Libation, but that would be pretty unusual to run in the main list. But you never know. So Walking Corpse is an interesting one. Liliana is pretty amazing, but we do need lands to get there. So we need second black source based off of this hand, so we definitely want to grab a swamp here. And then we could, we have 2 cards so far, but we can Shaman and get back another Fabled Passage just to help us kind of curve out. But I'm starting a little bit worried about the life total. Let's go for the Shaman. I think hitting the lands, get up to Liliana is probably a little more important. Wow, 2 Fabled and a Temple of Malady. We want just a Temple? Just a Scry, that might be our best bet. And what do we block here? I'm not too worried about their life total, especially considering just 1 from the Vampire. Probably want to deal with the Scorpion here sooner rather than later, but if they just have removal, then it doesn't really matter. But if they just swing all here, what do we... well, they sack their Vampire. I would have sacked the Scorpion there just to trigger the life gain, life loss, and keep a... oh, that's brutal. Well, I mean, we have 2 Lilianas, so they can only take 1. If they take Lily 6, then we get to play Lily 4 and activate it right away. Just get our Liliana back. Yep.
Let's never cross paths again.
Alright, so we can guarantee... so we got the Temple next turn, then we can Glowspore and guarantee 6 land to curve out, unless of course they have some more hand disruption. So the only playable right now is of course the Glowspore Shaman, which will potentially buy us some time if their next card isn't removal. I think we'll just crack the Fabled Passage. We've had no basics except for these. So next turn we have Liliana. I think we'll grab a... let's see, we have 3 white, 2 green, and 3 black. So we'll just grab a forest, I guess. -4, okay. And then you swing for 4. Goes down to 6. Practically, let's play Liliana. I think we just forced to -4 here. They likely... they should keep the 2/2 and then kill Liliana next turn, but we'll see how they play it. Life totals... wow. Okay, I think that was kind of a mistake. They really don't want us to have this Liliana 4, but I don't think she's really that impressive in this board state. They could have also just kept the 2/2 to just pressure our life total, but of course they have some recursion. It goes back to their hand, so they get the Knight of Ebon Legion back on the board. Or no, they go for the Scorpion. Okay. I guess if they figure when it dies we lose 2. There's pressure our life total, so we need some life gain like now. trying to decide to attack us or Liliana. We can't minus, so we have to plus. With the Scorpion and our life total at 4, I think attacking our life total would be their best bet. Temple Garden is a terrible draw here, but it is what it is. Go ahead and play it. So they can keep swinging at us for 1. If they did, we'd be at 3 right now. And if they swing all, the Kitesail Freebooter we can't block, and if we block the Scorpion, then we just die to the Scorpion. So that was pretty terrible from their end. Unholy Indenture. It doesn't work on tokens. But okay. So yeah, if they attack us with a Freebooter last turn, we'd be at 3. They attack us again. Yeah, pretty sure we're just dead unless we draw like an Oath of Kaya. Vivien, actually, that the reach can be certainly relevant. So we'll do that. Oh man, we're missing 1 land to cast this Knight, but we'll get that next turn, so we just have to survive. So reach and make a 2/2, and no attacks. Okay, so we have to survive this turn. We can get Knight and go for the life gain and keep pumping out creatures with these 2. Sure, you can attack for 4. So might have a 1-drop here. Nope, just a land. Sweet. Just attacking face. We need to get rid of this Freebooter. And we can't kill the Knight just yet, so we'll just block 1. Prevent the damage. So we get to draw a card. Unholy Indenture does nothing against a token. Oh, there's Ultimatum. What do we have? We have a Liliana that we already have, so nothing really worth getting at this point. So we'll have to save that. We have to play Knight to gain the life. Definitely think that's a must. So we'll play you. We'll choose Reach again, just in case I have another Freebooter, and we'll just keep plussing up with Liliana here. They can't activate it again, so we will minus. Especially we don't want to discard our Ultimatum. They have nothing to discard, and now they have empty board, and there's not anything relevant with haste in mono black, so we'll start swinging at their life total. So that was pretty close. That's why the Mangara just that we have all this control elements, but you still need that life gain for these aggressive matchups. So opponent at 21, we're at 6, but we're firmly in charge. Unless they have like a planar cleansing, which of course is only in white. That's the only thing we could really save in here. Heartless Act on one of our 3/3s. Sure. And Gargaroth, that's pretty fantastic. Let's minus. Okay, the Gargaroth, and then what do we want? Let's get the Mangara. Get some more life gain going on. And I guess we'll run out the Paradise Druid. We don't really care if that dies, just more protection for Planeswalkers. I mean, we're not using our Ultimatum, so yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Deal 3 damage to our life total. And we've got 2 more we can draw into. And swing on. Whew. Yes, Abzan is super strong. And if it wasn't for like Bant Ramp and things like that, people would, yeah, no reason to do anything right here. I'm sure this would see a lot more, Abzan will see a lot more play, because there's some really busted things you can do with it. Look at that, minus 18. Okay, so definitely want the Shatter. The Knight was nice for the life gain. Let me see. Soul Salvage. Return 2 treasure cards. I don't think we're too worried about that. If that's the only graveyard interaction, then I think we're fine with Liliana. They were pretty distracted by that, so that definitely helped preserve our life total as well. So some mistakes were made on their part. Banishing Light is tempting as well. Do we want Knight in this matchup? The life gain was nice, but we're all kind of all in on the Shatters at this point. So maybe we'll drop the Knight. I don't think there's... I kind of like Shadow Spear, but I don't think we're too worried about that. Casualties might just be a little bit too slow, especially if they're running creatures. Like there's no artifacts, enchantments, or planeswalkers that we've seen we have to worry about. So I think that's kind of a wasted slot. Actually, Mythos is probably good here. Elspeth conquers death. Were there any 3-drops? Yeah, they basically had like one and 2-drop creatures. Lots of 1 and 2-drop creatures, so not too much with Elspeth. So we'll leave 1 in just in case, and just bring in some more removal. And run it like that. So kind of lower the removal curve a little bit, so we have more aggressive removal of our own to combat their aggression. Take out the Knights, since we got more Shatters. This isn't an amazing opening hand, but I think we'll actually keep it. And just trust that the deck will provide. Of course, if we just draw lands, then we look like a fool. Definitely not a good keep, but no mulligan challenge, right? Opponent did mulligan down to 6. Did they just not play anything there? Okay. They kept a no land hand. There we go. Maybe they just forgot to play a land for some reason. I misclicked. So now this hand looks amazing if they're playing it like that. So we have Vivien into Garruk. Okay, you're mono black and you're running a shrine. Cool. So still nothing going on here. A couple lands. Vraska will be nice, can kill that. Banishing Light. I mean, it's going to chip away at our life level, which is annoying. But they're not pressuring us yet, and we still have the 4 Shatters we need to draw into, and tons of other flexible removal spells, which is why I love Mythos of Nethroi. Wow, still nothing from our opponent. That's a 2-drop, so yeah, Elspeth does nothing there, so yeah, we're just looking at Vivien next turn. It's legendary, so you can't play more than 1, so just 1 life drain of 1 every turn. They probably have some removal for Vivien. Wow, how did they have such an aggressive start last time, and now they're doing nothing this game? It's so weird. Well, we'll just drop our Vivien, make reach.
We're gonna have a problem.
Or trample. Go reach. We'll protect from the freebooter. That's probably our
I call, and
biggest concern, maybe.
answers.
You could also make a case instead all those 1/1, 2/2s, and things like that. Just go trample. But then if they do start pumping out those creatures, are we really going to be aggressively trying to attack in? So I think we just have to play a little more defensively here in the early going until we can kind of get better situated. And we got the Garruk next turn. Double Oath of Kaya. So I don't think there's much our opponent can really do here. We have a bunch of life gain now with the Double Oath of Kaya to gain us 6 life. And we've got our Planeswalker package. It's about to get off and running. So, and the fact that our opponent hasn't played anything yet is just, I don't understand when they had such an aggressive start last time. I don't know what's going on over there, but we'll keep playing our deck. We'll make some 2/2s. We'll swing 3. Make another 3/3. Oh, we'll go for the trample this time. Could also go for vigilance as well, as a way to protect our planeswalkers. And nothing in our yard to ultimatum, so a bit awkward. Our opponent has not had the removal that we can actually get value off our ultimatum yet. But you know, just means we're ahead anyway, so that's perfectly fine. Oh, they're playing Liliana of their own. That's cool. But it doesn't really do anything to our planeswalkers. They can make us discard. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think we need a million lands, so probably just the temple. And then we can Elspeth. Actually, the Eerie Ultimatum isn't really doing much on this board, so maybe we'll just ditch that. We have the Elspeth that can get something back. So we'll just do that, and then we have Elspeth into Paradise Druid. We'll attack all. make some more wolves. Make another 3/3. Go Vigilance. Why not? A little bit of everything going on. So they're pressuring our life total with this early Sanctum, but we're still at 13, and they've got 0 board presence outside of that enchantment. Gray doesn't really do much by itself because this only has a single black, and then the gray has, what, 2? Yeah. Our opponent with Agonizing Siphon. Okay, so just kind of a mono black burn. That's kind of a weird. So interesting. Liliana coming up next. Gotta love that. Do we have lethal here? I don't even. Let's just attack. Oh, let's see what we got. Is that lethal? It is. -4. Okay. So. Interesting. Okay, up against GSO. Sounds seems pretty reasonable. We have the turn 2 play, turn 3, and eventually we got the Liliana 6. Gotta love that. So we have the Scry, we have 3 tap lands, and we have a shock land. So I guess we just go Triome into Temple Garden, and just kind of go from there. Depending on what we draw, we probably don't want to land with the Shaman. Paradise Druid. Do we want a Paradise Druid here? Probably not. Since we're already dropping the Shaman next turn, I think. Well, if it's mono green, then maybe. But I'm worth it. Double Liliana is not fantastic. So we'll shock in, play this, so they can adapt, make it a 4/4. What do we want back? I want that Vraska back, that's for sure. So we have 2 lands in hand still. I guess we want to curve out with this, make sure we hit our Lilianas. Could be pretty clutch. They can adapt, so do we want to force them to? I think I'd rather just have them play out into the board more. And see if we can draw a Shatter, maybe? So these are all tap lands, probably doesn't really matter too much, probably better just play with the one that they know about. Yeah, Shatter is exactly what we need here. And we'll say no attacks. So I think we'll block here. We don't want to go any lower with our life total. We have just a shock tap land, I should say. So we'll be able to play the Shatter next turn, which is fine because we kind of want them to still add to the board. But if they just play a Growth Chamber Guardian, then we can Oath of Kaya it. Okay, so we're taking 5 here, but we gain 3. So we go up to 17, take 5, go to 12, and then next turn, hopefully they play this Lovestroke Beast, then we can Shatter, but they still have plenty of cards in hand. But we do have a couple Lilianas. Assuming we find another land here the next couple draws, so we can curve out and do that nicely, and hopefully our -4 will then be relevant after post Shatter the Sky. Not sure why they were highlighting both their creatures there. Yeah, just play Lovestruck Beast and attack for 5. There's a land. Perfect, so Shatter. We have to draw, play a tap land, and we can shock in next turn for Liliana. And even if they have 2 creatures here, which is possible, then we just Liliana and okay, and that gets around hexproof. So perfect. Could also just plus make a 2/2, but that doesn't really do anything. Doesn't kill it. Doesn't have protection. It has hexproof from black, so we can't target it. But the fact that Liliana is sacrificed means it's not targeted. But having a 2/2 doesn't really do much in the face of that, although Liliana would be a little higher life total, and then maybe we could have forced them to play into the board and then sacrifice to this turn. So now we get a creature we can kind of block with as well, and we have a follow-up Liliana anyway, so I think that's fine.
This looks like a fun new toy.
And we got the Ultimatum as well, so that's pretty cool. The other guy means they have to attack a planeswalker, and yeah, they decide they have seen enough. So mono green. We just want. Okay, we'll take that. We're going Cypelius. Maybe on the draw, which you don't mind at all. Karn avatar. No pet. That's a little distressing. It's a little sketchy, but we have the Shaman or the Druid here on 2. It's kind of interesting that we've had these pretty much just about every game, it seems like. Alright, so we got the Ultimatum early. Don't love it, but it is in our back pocket for later on. What kind of Triome? It's a Mardu Triome. So Temple, just looking for lands here. Oath of Kaya, not sure if we need that. Have a nice curve there, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, another tap land from our opponent. Second for Vraska. I think we'll just Paradise Druid here. Just play around removal a little bit. If we find a land. If it's untapped, we can play Vraska, otherwise just Glowspore Shaman. That'd be nice to get rid of that. So Smarty Sacrifice that had nothing to play on until turn 3. That's a little interesting. So we'll play the tap land, so we're going to play it anyway. We'll Glowspore and just look for another untapped land, hopefully. Godless Shrine. Yeah, I think that does the trick. So we can Godless Shrine into Vraska and blow up their Bastion. Oath of Kaya on our Glowspore Shaman and then swing for 1. Sure. So Oath of Kaya. Are you running Planeswalkers, or are you just trying to go for all the kind of drain synergies? Okay, no reason not to attack. Don't care about Oath of Kaya, we just want to blow up this Bastion. Hopefully we draw a land so we can kind of curve out. Otherwise we do have a second Vraska to follow up if we do miss a land. But definitely want to get that off the board. And do we want to save our Vraska? No, let's just attack. I'm going to chip away at their life total if they have this much life gain. Keep their life total in check a little bit. I guess we're not too worried about that because we are kind of firmly in the mid-range territory. We just want to control the board and then worry about life totals a little bit later on. But if they just want to spend their turn attacking down our Vraska, which they're likely going to do anyway, and I don't too worried in blocking. So Vraska doesn't do much against Mothra here, but if we draw a land, we can Liliana. Of course, we do not. So I think we'll just Vivien and make a reach. I mean, we could just take it and have Vivien go down to 3. Oh, it's an Athreos deck. That's pretty nasty. And they get to make that at their end step. I think we just do that, and then we can put the coin counter on the Mothra, I would assume. This is where Banishing Light is. Did they just put the counter on the token? You don't get a token back, dude. Okay, so they didn't choose their Luminous Broodmoth, which they should have, so we will minus. We'll draw some cards. I actually probably should have attacked first, my mistake there. It's a little bit too aggressive. And we'll make another 3/3. We'll just go reach if they're showing flyers.
I'd like you to meet my friend.
Gargaroth next turn. Okay, you don't have any Death Touch except for the Hooded Blightfang. Looking at our Planeswalkers, they have something here for 3. Another Oath of Kaya, maybe? Nope. Targeting their Blightfang, for sure. So this is going to be a bit of a grind. We do need a way to deal with that Athreos, for sure. We don't need more land, so let's scry away this temple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, are we casting Ultimatum anytime soon? Probably not. There's an Oath of Kaya coming up. Again, that's not quite what we're looking for. So we'll make a 2/2. Make a 3/3. I think I'll just play the Gargaroth is what I was trying to play there. There we go. So this Athreos is pretty obnoxious because it's going to keep bringing their creatures back into the fold, which I can do over and over and over again. So we need a Banishing Light here to deal with that. Kaya can take out any of our tokens, and it gives them devotion. So wow, they're in a good spot. And we're an Ultimatum deck, so we definitely don't like them hitting our graveyard. But we have a Vraska to deal with their Kaya. So I think we'll be doing Paradise Druid into Vraska. It's indestructible, right? Yeah. So not much we can do about Athreos here, outside of a Banishing Light. It is a creature though, so we can minus. Actually, no, we're only at 3, so we don't have that option yet. So we'll Vraska. So Liliana can get around the indestructible, but we don't have very much in our graveyard, unfortunately. Definitely want to get rid of this Kaya. So play out the Paradise Druid, and then make some more tokens.
And Decoria answers.
They get our Gargaroth, so that kind of sucks. And this Athreos is definitely a problem. We need to find a way to deal with that. And Liliana is one option, but we need more permanence in our graveyard. And no attacks from our opponent, and no plays here. They can target one of our tokens. So whenever a creature with a coin counter, return it to the battlefield under their control. So when our Gargoth dies, they're going to get control of it. So we have a Shatter coming up, but I don't think that's quite what we're looking for. Just attack with all of our tokens, since we don't really care too much about them. So I think that's fine. We'll just keep the Gargaroth back. Do we even want Shatter here? It doesn't really do much. Don't have another way to really get rid of it. So they eliminate one of our tokens. There's Shatter. There's a Banishing Light. So if we can draw... Okay, so Vraska plus, draw the Banishing Light, and target target the Athreos. Oh, they killed one of our creatures. Yeah, of course, because Death Edge, they can block anything, kill it. So yeah, we'll Banishing Light the Athreos, and we should be okay from here, I believe. As long as I don't draw a second one. So we'll plus. Now it's Oath of Kaya, get that off the board. Perfect. We'll plus. I don't think we care about our Oath of Kaya. Let's draw another card, get that Shatter off. Ooh, Liliana, or Nissa, I can talk. Keep going with the vigilance, I think. Alright, opponent at 13. So that's what makes Abzan so fantastic, is just have so many access to so many powerful removal spells. Shatter the Sky, Banishing Light, Mythos of Nethroi, which we'll just have in our sideboard, and all these Planeswalkers, just so much value. So much value. Hooded Blightfang number 2. Alright, how much can we do here? Yeah, they're not, I don't think they're dead this turn, but they're just about dead. Okay, so Athreos is pretty nasty. Definitely want the Banishing Lights. Can't I see your graveyard anymore? What else do they have? They have the Blightfang as a couple, Oath of Kaya. Some removal, eliminates. Okay, Broodmoth, so, okay. We just need graveyard recursions. I don't know about the Leyline. Probably want, so definitely want the Banishing Light. They weren't really that wide. We were actually kind of the aggressive deck in that matchup, so maybe we trim a Shatter. Oath of Kaya worked out in a way, but I don't think it's really too relevant. I honestly just want to make room for some like Agonizing Remorses. If we can get that Athreos out of their hand before they even cast it, that would be pretty fantastic. Do we want Davriel in this matchup? We saw the one enchantment, no artifacts, no planeswalkers, so I don't think Casualties belongs. Questing Beast? Don't think so. I think we just want the Agonizing Remorses, and then we don't want to shave off the Druid or the Shaman. I guess the Druid's more important. It's got the Hexproof. Yeah, tempted to bring in these Mythos, but we'll leave it like that. So I think we can just control the Athreos with the Banishing Lights, then I think we're okay. Just the Athreos value, if that gets going, that's pretty tough to deal with. Okay, we do have the Remorse here, so I think we Triome, and then probably doesn't matter which one we shock in. There's a Glowspore Shaman as well. Ooh, I guess we'll say goodbye to our 6-drop. That's pretty nasty. So we still have lands in hand, but I think I should just go with the Shaman. I don't think we have to add Agonizing Remorse just yet. A couple temples. Do we have a preference? We'll go for the. They both have black. We have plenty of white, so I guess we'll go for the Malady. And next turn we can Knight or Remorse. Probably go for the Remorse. Knight of Elon Legion. It's a bit nasty, but we're not too worried about that. So we'll just Remorse, and if nothing else, we can exile the Kroxa. Okay, so we're a Planeswalker deck. You have Lava Coil and 8 Extinction Events. I mean, I guess Extinction Event wipes out all of our tokens. King Caesar is pretty nasty, but we have ways of dealing with it. So I think we just want to get Sorin out of the way. And that goes to exile, so it does not fuel escape. A little land. We have 2 in hand, and we don't really have any top end to get to, so I think we'll just say no. If they attack, they probably are not going to activate. We could force them to, just so they don't cast the King Caesar. But looks like they're just going to the Lava Coil. Sure. And they're only attacking for 1. And I think on this board, probably just go for the Banishing Light, just so they have nothing to... so they can't mutate onto it. So they can play it out as a creature. So just one other card to escape with. They're still a long ways from that. The Extinction Event and Lava Coil are kind of curious inclusions. So we have a 3/5, which is pretty nasty. It has a double strike, so if we play our Liliana, we lose our Liliana. And we don't have enough in our graveyard to do anything about that. We could just play the Knight and then try to maybe kill it next turn. So that's a 4-drop, so they could easily exile it with Extinction Event. So we just maybe we just do this. Hopefully it fills up our graveyard. We'll gain the life. Play the land, and hopefully we can... so we'll have 5 next turn. If we lose our... Actually, if the extinction event there goes to exile, so that does not work. So we'll block, just so we can have it die, and then we can minus our Liliana next turn, and then we have Elder Gargaroth. That's pretty fantastic.
I have the right to choose my own
Perfect.
fate.
And we can plus... We can play our Gargaroth and then discard our ultimatum. So we'll force them to discard their extinction event, which does fuel his escape, which is kind of sucks. And Vraska too. That's pretty good. Could just play Vraska and kill the Orzhov Enforcer. Then you get a 1/1 out of it. Flyer. Which is Gargaroth plus discard the ultimatum and then Vraska next turn. So no extinction event, but they are getting closer to escape.
We're doing things my way.
But Vraska can also kill that. So they can attack it for 1, sure. We'll take it.
I'm not
Triome. Play land. Let's empty our hand. Plus, you take 3. It's got a Vigilance. Crucial Element is pretty nasty, but I think we just want to get rid of this Death Toucher. Let's draw a card. Or do we want a 3/3? Maybe we just want a 3/3. Let's make a 3/3 first. It's got Trample. They block with the Celebrant. So they soak up 2. They drain for 1, get 1 back. So Celebrant dies first. Now we can kill the Orzhov Enforcer. They can kill our Vraska. Well, actually, no, we have a Vigilance here, so we're covered. They're at escape though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I have exactly escape. But our 6/6. Wow, they don't even try to cast Cruxa. Do they? Oh, they're missing a second red source. I wasn't even watching them animation. Saw a ton of lands over there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. No reason not to attack, so let's go. Do we want to draw cards? Actually, we probably should have plussed first. So in that case, we'll make another 3/3 and just go wide. So yeah, probably should have played Vivien pre-combat, plussed our Liliana pre-combat, and then drawn a card if that's what we wanted to do with our Gargaroth. But going wide here is perfectly fine as well, since they've got nothing going on. Alright, so we'll take Vivien. I don't really want to sacrifice anything just to draw a Glowspore Shaman. We plus Liliana, hit them for 3 since they have nothing to discard. Cruxa is just sitting here in their graveyard ready to escape once they find a second red source. So they take 3 since they have nothing to discard, go down to 2, and we're super wide. So yeah. Abzan, feels pretty strong. There's definitely some different ways you can go with it, especially in the ultimatum style. But this deck has felt pretty darn good to me. 1 of the stars. Okay. Let's go and crack a pack. Let's celebrate. What do we got here? Transmogrify. That is the first time I've opened a Transmogrify, but I've opened quite a few packs. I feel like it's getting harder and harder to find certain cards with these packs. But that's just the way the economy is, unfortunately. So yeah, Abzan Midrange, Liliana's Ultimatum, as I like to call it. I feel like that was a pretty good showing. Everything I think pretty much made an appearance and did a little bit of work. At least we didn't see Tolsimir, but the Planeswalker package. We had the Ultimatum, but we had some kind of awkward matchups where our opponents weren't really playing a ton of removal, where we could actually get some ton of value off of it. So it's probably something you could play in ranked, and then you'd probably actually get some more value off the Ultimatum. And you're playing just a ton of strong cards and Planeswalkers. Got the Shatter the Sky, Elspeth Conquers Death package, which is going to help you out in pretty much any matchup, regardless of what else you're even playing. And the new Liliana, I think, slots in nicely with the Ultimatum package as well. And it's just a good card on her own. Just a matter of trying to find the right slots for her to make her work so that you can get value off of all 3 of her abilities. And I think we're playing just enough creatures to where this kind of fits in as well. Of course, little bit of a non-bow here with her -7 and the Eerie Ultimatum if you're getting creatures back anyway with that, but they kind of overlap a little bit as well because you're not always going to have both of them working. So I think there's still plenty of value to be had there. And yeah, there's just enough removal, life gain, and kind of utility spells that Abzan just still feels really, really strong. So the sideboard, you can definitely tune it to your preferences. This is kind of how I've got it tuned for now, but it's still kind of a bit of work in progress. And yeah, the deck feels strong to me. Probably something you could play in ranked, but just with the state of standard, I haven't really been up to playing a whole lot of ranked lately. So we just played it in the casual queue. We had some fun matchups, so definitely not gonna complain about that. So just want to do a quick giveaway. It's a arena code from our pre-release kits. My girlfriend and I did our pre-release last night, and she's not really onto the arena so much, so I redeemed mine, got my packs. But for the first person to watch this, please use this code and comment in the section down below, just so that everybody else knows that you've already redeemed the code successfully and they don't have to spend their time trying. So if you're the first person to watch this all the way to the end, here is your code for to redeem free 6 core set packs. Alright, go ahead and screenshot that, pause it, whatever you need to do. Hopefully it looks clear on my end. Sorry, it's hard to hold it steady, but I feel like I can make out the numbers here. So hopefully you guys are able to make that out and redeem these codes successfully and get those packs. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.